First of all, thanks to Rob and TESOL Greece and BELTA for inviting me to be here. It's a pleasure to be here and talk about disruptive technology. I think that most of us, I don't know if there's anybody that doesn't use technology in the classroom from all sorts of ways. Today, I wanted to, because it's only 10 minutes, just to have a short discussion about technology in the classroom, the digital natives and digital immigrants theory, and some useful applications you can use in the class. So, you can take a few things from this EFL talk. Alrighty, so in general, and in most classrooms, we use all sorts of things. I use material from like videos, websites, and worksheets that are there. I work at a university, so we currently have to use Moodle for all our courses. Other colleagues use Edmodo, Blackboard, and all other platforms which facilitate the learning. So you can put lots of material over there, and students have the opportunity to go and take the material from there, so they don't complain and say, well, I forgot it, I don't have it, I never got it, and all of those things. And also, it's used for assessment, like feedback, quizzes, progress tests, all sorts of things. So this is the technology used currently in the classroom. Now, disruptive technology, as Christensen and colleagues have given it a definition, are the technologies that are not designed to support learning and teaching, but they're used by students and teachers having found the market and a use, a value for that. Now, we have technologies that were not designed to support learning, and those are devices that students bring into class, teachers bring into class, but they were not specifically made for education, like a mobile phone, a tablet, and a computer. When those were invented, they were not for class use, but they were just for general use, telecommunications, or any other sort of use. Now, there are some research facts from different countries like the UK and Australia, and there are some different kind of opinions. For example, the first one, Majidal in 2009 mentioned that 95% of UK students use social media, and 10% of them were only in favor of using Facebook as a teaching tool. Now, Jones et al. In 2010 mentioned that 70% of students had a social networking account, but they rarely use it for educational purposes. And then a more current one from Australia, that Facebook is used by students to support their learning, and students prefer to demarcate their technology usage. So there is some sort of a discrepancy, and it doesn't have to do with the years, as the ones that don't support technology are back in 2009 or 10, and the ones that support technology are more 2012 or 2016. So there is some sort of a discrepancy, or like you have both opinions, let's say, use technology and not use technology, and social media, etc. Now, there are some interpretations for technology that technological use in class is ambiguous, which means that it can be helpful or it cannot be helpful, or it can be disruptive. Using technology doesn't have standard results, and when you use technology doesn't mean that more learning is going to happen. And fun fact is that if you use technology, you're not automatically becoming a cool teacher. You may in some cases, but in others you may not, but because you may not know all the technology that your students know, and there is a gap, or there should be a gap between the students and the teachers, depending on which students you teach, of course. Now, Prensky in 2001 developed that theory of digital natives and digital immigrants. Digital natives are students or people who have been born into technology, and digital immigrants are generations of people or teachers that technologies were not so familiar to them. Again, there's some research about it in 2010 by Jones and Healing that says that UK undergraduate students are not confident when using virtual learning environments. And in 2011, students largely are passive users of technology. So again, there's some sort of a discrepancy in between the two theories, and this theory has been supported, but there's ongoing research that if that's the case, or there's still a gap. Now, as I said, I'm working at a university, and I did a research back in 2016 for one of my classes for a doctoral class. And these are some statements, and they're verbatim as the students, said those statements. And they said it's embarrassing. They feel bad. Mobile phones are part of your body. The teacher is not going to give it back. So these are answers to the questions that I asked. And the question was, how do you feel when the teacher takes the phone away from you during class? So these were the original answers. And you can see that there's a lot of, it's a mobile phone or technology is a very personal thing that students have. And they feel uncomfortable when you take the technology away. So instead of taking it away, I thought that would be much more useful to use it. So what are some things you can do as teachers? Primarily, apply moderate use of technology. There should be some technology, but not, like a lot of it. The second thing you can do is try to integrate technology in your teaching, but not intrude in students' personal life. That goes to, I know in our institution too, some teachers have WhatsApp groups, for example, Facebook groups, or whatever other on social media. You have to be a little bit more careful with that, because this is their personal life. Of course, yeah, they accept and they become part of the group, so that gives you the freedom, but we have to be a little bit more careful, because as I said before, those memes and the social media were not primarily made for educational purposes. They were it's for fun, so we're kind of intruding into their fun and using that as part of the class, because teachers send assignments, they check on projects, students also might ask questions about it, and it is helpful, but you have to be a little bit cautious. And the third thing is, don't push students to use technology. I mean, you can offer conventional means of teaching as well, but don't try to put too much technology so that they don't integrate into that system. So they might need more conventional means of teaching. They might need more, to be more passive users of technology inside the classroom. Maybe they can do that for fun or outside, or read something, watch a video, do something about that, but not necessarily in the classroom. And here I have some examples that you can use. Majority of those websites or applications are free, and they have a paid version, of course. You can use, I use Write and Improve a lot in my writing courses, and it's very, very useful. You can do tasks, you can do all sorts of writing tasks that you can set, or the ones from Cambridge. It has IELTS practice, Grammarly. You can have it on your browser as well. There's all sorts of quizzes and Canvas that you can help with projects or activities or anything that you do in your class. And I think that's it. I think I did 10 minutes, right?